is my excavation into days come run, and everything that happens is from now on. This is pouring.
A reading from the book of James. Let not many of you become teachers, my brethren, for you know that we who teach shall be judged with greater strictness. For we all make many mistakes, and if anyone makes no mistakes in what he says, he is a perfect man, able to bridle the whole body also. If we put bits into the mouths of horses that they may obey us, we guide their whole bodies. Look at the ships also, though they are so great and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder, wherever the will of the pilot directs. So the tongue is a little member and boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by a small fire, and the tongue is a fire. The tongue is an unrighteous world among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the cycle of nature, and set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird and reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by humankind, but no human being can tame the tongue, a restless evil full of deadly poison. With it we bless the Lord and the Father, and with it we curse men, who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessing and cursing. My brethren, this ought not be so. Does a spring pour forth from the same opening fresh water and brackish? Can a fig tree, my brethren, yield olives, or a grapevine figs? No more can salt water yield fresh.
I keep throwing it down to 100 at a time.
A few weeks back, I was watching a television show, I guess, or a television series, and on the series, it's a medical show, and on the series, a person developed frontal lobe disinhibition, and just hang with me. And what happened was that person, their thoughts, they kept saying whatever came to their mind, and so they were saying horrible things about people, and causing all kind of problems within their own family and in the environment they were in, because they were just saying whatever was on their mind. And there came to be a discussion, or sort of a philosophical discussion around this patient about whether that person was a good person or not, and whether being a good person just meant you were able to quiet or control those thoughts and not say anything. And the other argument was, well, they're still thinking. So there you go. So that kind of is my lead into James' 3rd chapter, and we heard this morning was all about the tongue, the smallest of things that can set ablaze a forest, or the smallest of things that, like the rudder on a ship, that can steer the ship. You can do great damage with your tongue, and so James warns us very sternly about our tongues and about the language we use and how it can hurt us. And there's a lesson there about having custody of our tongue. So, we need to be very careful how we speak to other people and do things to build them up and not tear them down, because it's very easy to do that. And the damage you can do by saying unkind things or horrid things about people is a lot more than if you just beat them up or ran over with a car. It damages them forever. Even if you apologize and things like that, those things don't go away. So the words we use with each other are extremely powerful, probably the most powerful thing we possess. And so James warns us. But all those things come from the heart, which gets me back to the medical show discussion, where is it normal to have all those terrible thoughts running around inside of you? And at some point, yeah, but at another point, it's something we have to work to control, because we have to have custody of our mind and our thoughts as well. So I'm kind of in the first, the first camp. Like if you can control the thoughts, it's one thing, but it's even to have them is another. And so you do have to have custody of your mind. And so that's kind of where I want us to think about today. Do you have custody of your thoughts? I know like when my attitude changes, some days I have harder days than others, or some days you're just not feeling it, or however you say that. And you start thinking terrible things about other people, like, blah, you're just being mean in your mind. And is that okay? And to me, it's not. To me, thinking poorly about other people, or getting irritated and thinking terrible thoughts about other people, or untoward thoughts, or negative thoughts, does something to my own soul. So if I don't look at everybody with charity and the way Jesus would look at them, or see them being made in the image and likeness of God and having a worth and value beyond measure, then yeah, you get in trouble. So it's not all what you say with your tongue, but it goes down to the heart. So if I'm thinking terrible thoughts about people, or having a bad day and just letting everybody have it in my mind, that stuff still comes out in your demeanor and your talk, or everything. There's no way to hide that. And so you have to have custody of those thoughts as well. And so that's when you have to examine your thoughts and see where those come from, and see exactly how you're looking at that person. And is that the way Jesus would want you to look at that person, or is that the way Jesus sees that person? Even if you're wrong or completely in the right to think this way about somebody, it's still not a very fruitful place to live. Because when you start thinking poorly about other people, it changes you. When you start saying bad things about people, it definitely changes you. So James warns us about the tongue. I'm kind of warning us about the heart too. That's all a big piece. That's a central piece, from the tongue to the heart, of where you are spiritually, of where you are in your relationship with Jesus. And it's tough, because it's easy to have negative thoughts about people, because nobody, I can think whatever I want, nobody will know, but it does change you. So James warns us very sternly. And so today, beloved, pay attention to the thoughts and what you're thinking about other people. Anything from looking at other people lustfully or objectively, to tearing them apart, or tearing their character apart, or their person apart. That darkens your own soul. That blackens your own soul. If you can't look into the eyes of other human beings and see Jesus, and see that they are made in the image and likeness of God and have value, then the road gets tougher. And you will burn down a forest, one day. If you don't learn to control and combat that, and try to see other people as Jesus sees them. And that includes the thoughts in your mind that lead to the health of your heart, which leads to what your tongue says. So it's all kind of wrapped up in there. But remember, the words you say about other people matter, carry tremendous amounts of weight, and you can destroy people. Absolutely destroy people for the rest of their lives. There are people that I come into my office, or I see that something was said to them 20 years ago that still cripples them. And on the other hand, if you use your words to build up and to be kind and to praise and to encourage, you would be amazed at how much more you can get out of other people, or how much that means to other people, that it turns their whole life around. It can turn their whole day around, their whole state of being around. Somebody noticed, somebody cares, somebody likes me. So words are very powerful. So choose them wisely, and do so with the love of Jesus as your focus. So happy Wednesday, everyone. Be kind to each other. Choose your words wisely. Encourage others. Never tear them down. Try to control your thoughts. And God bless you all. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.